Welcome back to the ESG Talk with Guzman, Director of Group ESG at Prudential. In this episode, we're going to dive deeper in the meaning of ESG, why is it important, and what does changemaker means in the world of ESG. I'm your host, Jan, and this is how to be a changemaker. So, let's jump into the topic of ESG, all right? Okay, so how do you briefly explain to someone with just a little prior knowledge to this topic?
Sure.
What is ESG?
Sure. So ESG, very simple. ESG is how a company, a corporation like Prudential, by leveraging our competitive advantages, right, our strengths as a business, address some of the societal and environmental challenges in the world. And the way you do this is through innovation. Okay, so I'll give you an example. In order for you to use all your assets, your talent, your knowledge, your capabilities, your skills, whatever gives you the right to win, as Anil says, in order for you to leverage that and do your business and at the same time contribute positively to society and environment, you need to innovate. Business as usual is not the way to do it, because business as usual is what has brought us to where we are, right? To climate change, to social inequalities, to lack of opportunities, right? To a growing population. But so ESG is a way you innovate in order to drive both business and impact. So I'll give you an example. You can continue doing insurance products as we know them so far, right? This is how we've always done it. That's business as usual. It's perhaps provided to be a good business. We've been doing this for 175 years. But in order to bring us further, and particularly in a changing society like we live right now, right? Everything changes. Everything is constantly changing.
Yeah.
In order for you to be relevant, you need to innovate. But you can be selling a typical insurance product, or you can think, wait, there are more same-sex couples that currently are not getting protection because they don't feel, we're not able to underwrite them, we're not able to insure them, right? Because they don't check all the marks, right? How can we innovate? How can we adapt? How can we think this better in order to provide them with that protection that they currently don't have? That is impact. That is how you address a societal challenge. Society has changed. Same-sex couples are legal in 3 countries now. How do you do that, right? The same thing with low-income people, maybe, right? Okay, I could be selling my insurance to middle and high class. But what are the things that I need to adapt in order for me to be able to provide protection to those that cannot afford me now? See what I mean? And maybe start creating a base, providing that protection and start creating that base, because these people most probably have informal work, right?
Yep.
Like Uber delivery guys, delivery guys, or Grab the drivers, or the moms and pops micro, businesses that sell food, so they are informal economy. But they work every day and they make an effort every day to make a living, and they probably could afford some kind of protection, but they're non-insured. So how can you adapt in order to provide them that protection? But maybe in the future, their children know that you are the insurance of the father, the parents, and when they become better, right, they become a client of Prudential. So how do you create that social, safety net to help people move up?
So to ensure that no one is left behind.
Exactly. Ensure no one is left behind. And that can happen, I just want to say, that can happen at any type of social class. There's people left behind within high class as well. If you have autism, for example, even if you, doesn't matter if you have, if you're super rich. If you have autism, you're probably nobody's going to insure you. So can we, as science has developed, as science has evolved and we have more data, can we probably look again and understand what spectrum of autism can we underwrite? And that is, by the way, I'm borrowing all these examples because they're already happening in Prudential.
Yes.
So these are not things that I'm coming up with right now.
Yeah.
These are things that our colleagues are hard working right now on trying to make it happen.
All right. So maybe the big picture is that the society is changing.
Yes.
And ESG is how we deal with change so that we ensure
how we shape change.
How we shape that change.
So it's for the better.
All right. That's okay. And how we shape the change is like we connect some tools, like you said science with the impact, right?
If you are an insurance company, the tool that you can offer to the world is insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If you are if you're an electricity company, you can provide green electricity. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you are a food company, you can provide nutritious food, better food, right? Better nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a clothes company, you can provide, and there's already sustainable fashion. See what I mean? So you are good at what you're doing, but how can you do it in a way that leaves the world better and not worse as a result of your presence here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so because in the change, something is better, but something is, get behind, can get behind, right? And
exactly. So a good example of that is climate change, right?
Yep.
So we're all racing, and rightly so, to stop climate change or to reduce the impacts of climate change, right? Here in Thailand, you have a lot of floods, right? As a result of climate change. Okay. So how can we reduce that impact? But how can we do it in a way that people can afford the energy they buy? If we turn Thailand, all Thailand into green energy, some people might not be able to afford the energy.
Yes.
Because it's expensive, right? Green energy might be more expensive than the energy we have right now. So that means leaving no one behind. We need to transition environment while we transition societies right now.
Well, truly,
I'm not saying everything is done. I'm saying this is where we believe we should be heading towards. Yeah.
So right now I'm thinking that being in ESG or having an ESG mindset is already, you step like 1 foot into being a change maker, right? Like having ESG mindset is seeing something that, that isn't right, that may be considered normal to most people, but that is something wrong with that. And you want to change that?
Yeah, but not for you, for the people. You see
for
what
the
I mean?
People.
Yeah.
Okay.
So an ESG change maker is somebody, and I'm not counting myself in it because I think that's a very high bar, and I've worked every day on ESG, but I don't consider myself a change maker. ESG change maker, or somebody in the quest or on the journey to become an ESG change maker, is somebody who has a critical mind of what's surrounding you, right? And you want to ensure that all the changes that are happening in the world, our environment, our societies, are positive changes, right? So, and in this world, governments, unfortunately, are very limited on what they can do, right? They have a lot of priorities, so especially after COVID, so a lot of money went into COVID, and rightly so. So governments are limited. Civil society, NGOs are limited because they don't have, probably all the funds. So this private sector that has a big responsibility in making sure that every day when we do our business, we do it in a way that we can also transform that change. So a change maker in ESG, transform that change for the shape that's changed for the better. A change maker in ESG is somebody who's very critical of the world around yourself, that you are keen to bring people along with you, that's all, to find a solution for the issues that you have, but do it in a way that also plays in the advantages and the strengths of people and corporations. You see what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly. I come from a family of social, how do you say it, social advocates. My mom actually is a very strong social advocate, and she's extremely left-wing.
In Mexico?
Yeah, in Mexico, extremely left-wing. And she and I always have a lot of conversations about capitalism and corporations and so on and so on and so on, right? But I think, well, activism is very important. We will have a chance to really make things for the better, make things for the better for the future generations. If we really bring everyone along, and including private sector, because that's where most of the capital is, right? So the change is going to require money.
Yep.
So in order to achieve that, you need to bring corporations along with you. I think that's very important.
Yeah, I agree. Like, make the corporate our allies in making changes.
But in order to make the allies, it needs to make business sense for them too. You see what I mean? That's where the pragmatism comes in too. So a changemaker is a dreamer, but is also a very practical, pragmatic person. But actually, anyone can be a changemaker. Now that I think about it, if you convince your boss or your colleague to do something different because it's better for them and it's better for the broader society, you're a changemaker, right? If you convince your colleague to separate his trash because it's good for the environment, but it's also good for the people who are going to be separating the trash anyway, that's you're already a changemaker, right? If you convince your boss that we need to be doing something for the better of society, but it also is going to position the company better and also is going to, help with the reputation, you're already a changemaker. So I don't want to set the bar too high because then everybody's like, I won't be a changemaker ever, so I won't be an ESG. No, it's every day you can be a changemaker. The way you turn off the lights when you leave the room, you turn off the air conditioning when you don't need it, right? You buy certain type of energy, you buy certain types of clothes. You're already a changemaker.
Thank you for listening to our second episode of ESG Talk. I hope this episode gives everyone a better understanding of ESG and its crucial role in the society. For the next episode, we will be looking at the challenges of being a change maker and how to overcome them. Thank you for staying here with us. See you later.